Hello, WFA. You haven't seen anything from us in about 2 weeks, so I thought it would be important to get my face out here and talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on. First of all, I hope you've all had a happy holiday so far, enjoying possibly some time off for some of you. I don't know how the world works yet, because I'm still a child, but I'm sure some of you are enjoying a little bit of a lighter workload. Um, yeah, I hope everything's going good for you. Um, yeah, there are some things. There are some things that we have to talk about, especially looking at where we're at in the season. Just finishing up week 8 still, but with the holidays, it was just not gonna happen. Everybody was very busy, and that's completely okay. Um, as I've said many times, many times before, um, personal life always comes first. Yeah, that's what I've always said to everybody. If you haven't heard that from me before, um, so that I've said that to a bunch of people, and I'm sure that they can tell you that that it's always been family first, personal life first, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm making this video. Actually, um, it's been something that I've been thinking about for a while. Um, I really should have used the green screen that I still have up, but it's late, and I didn't want to. I wanted to make sure I got this out tonight, because it's something that I'd like to be able to give plenty of time to work through as we get towards the end of holiday season, um, and back to a regularly scheduled uh, footballing. Yeah, so I wanted to get this out as soon as I could, because this has been something that I've been bantering around back and forth in my own mind, and kind of talking about it with a couple people, not really like being obvious about what I was talking about, but thinking of different options for our future. Um, and yeah, this is something that, for me personally, this was important to talk about. I've been, I've been sitting around this for the last 2.5 minutes. Let's just get out of in front of it. I'm going to be stepping down as a commissioner of the WFA. WFA has been a big part of my life for the last 4 years that the server has been open. I had to go look that up. When I looked it up, I've realized that I've put 10,800 messages in the last 4 years. I don't know if that's big or not, because I don't talk as much. I usually would have a different server. I do a lot more group messaging, but um, yeah. So I just had to look back and see. Oh wow, that we've passed our 4th anniversary with the server open. Um, yeah, a lot has changed since then. When the server first opened, and I was first making changes to it, um, because I was the first person that was invited to come. Um, I had just turned 16, and I was looking for a creative outlet. Um, I didn't have enough money to participate in other leagues, specifically the RFL. That's how we got here. Mad respect to those guys. Um, but yeah, I didn't have the money to go get an updated Xbox and make sure I had the new game every year. So that wasn't going to be it. Um, so the main reason why this league got started is I was just open for a new opportunity, I guess, a way to flex my muscles in my own situation, and that's how we got here. And it's been a long, long journey since then. Um, so why now? Why now of all times to step away? We're in our 9th season, almost in our 10th season. I would love to have been in charge I guess since season 5, so go on for officially being in charge for, yeah, for that time, and earlier. I, I've lost my memory. um, yeah, I have my notes. I've written down a couple things that I wanted to say, um, but I really don't feel like looking at it too much. But one thing I did want to say, why now? Um, I've been struggling with depression for the last 3 years. I'm sure that's the case with a lot of people my age. You're just getting ready to go into the world, and all of a sudden the world stops. And it kind of just halts your life, you know. I don't like using that as an excuse, but you know, that's where I am with it. And so I've been struggling with it. I don't I don't admit that to myself enough. But yeah, I've certainly been struggling with depression, um, and the WFA. I'm not going to get into the rest of my life, but the WFA has unfortunately started to fall into my insecurities. Um, that being that whenever I reach a point in an organization where I'm on the top or like in charge or getting towards where it's my time, um, things start to die. That happened with my youth swim team. It's now defunct after I got to the top. My high school swim team isn't what it once was, definitely. Um, my choir isn't what it used to be. And there's several other examples of things that they just don't exist like they used to when I was younger. And the WFA it's a different thing, because we've been consistently growing. If I look at the channel right now, we have been consistently growing for the last couple weeks. We are up to 221 subscribers, which is a lot. I mean, I know that, and the last game that we have, 114 views. That's a lot more than we've been doing. I don't know how that's possible. This has probably been one of the biggest stop and starts that the league has gone through over the last couple of years, and we are at our best. But the problem is that I am letting the WFA and its ability to continue to run smoothly affect me. Um, because it's really right now it is my responsibility. Um, it's been something that mostly because I'm a perfectionist and I want things to be good, and you know, I've been basically the main man in charge, and I've let that get to me. First of all, I know he's not gonna say anything about it, but I need to apologize to Dave. I've not let him. I haven't. Not let is the wrong word. I haven't talked to him as much as I probably could. With being a co-commissioner, I don't let him in on things I don't think he's interested in. But I probably could. I probably should. But with this, I feel that it's not right that people who are actually streaming and taking time out of their lives aren't the ones in charge. Um, I'll never have the capability to do that. I think it's pretty safe to say at this point in my life that I won't have the time, the money, the Wi-Fi connection. As we all know, my internet isn't what it should be to even do it. So I don't think especially continuing in college, possibly moving out and going to a university, um, which is one of my current thoughts right now. Um, I won't have the time, so I'm never going to be able to be a streamer, and I never thought I was going to. So I just don't feel that I am the right person to be moving the league forward at the current minute. Um, yeah, so I've let my mental health be attached to the league, and I don't think that's good. I don't think it's good. And while having this creative outlet, having this world, because I've always, it was kind of an accident. I didn't name it, but having it be the World Football Alliance, I've always said I love, excuse me, I love creating worlds. I love putting my own spin on things, making up people and what they can do. So having that world where guys like Hugo live and many different personalities and things that I have put in and I've really enjoyed, having that is good. I think for me, but it's the good isn't outweighing the bad. Um, Not being able to keep people to deadlines, not deadlines, but like I'm. It's just been discouraging, and I blame myself, which it is my fault. Um, but I wish that I could do more, and because I can't do more, I just feel like I'm not the person that needs to be in charge right now. Um, yeah. So I guess looking back at the last couple years, um, this has been something I've really enjoyed and I'm proud of. I genuinely am proud of the things that I've been able to do with this league. Um, I wouldn't have thought that we were going to be still here. This was just, I, honestly, I was just here to be at the very beginning. I was here to just keep tabs on Smith and just make sure I knew what was going on. So that if I needed to, like if I didn't know how much he could do at the beginning, but if I needed to step in and cause some havoc to make sure he didn't succeed, then I would. But eventually it grew into being mine, and that alongside with other people. Obviously, it wasn't my, but it like I put that on myself. Like this is something that I'm proud of and that I need to succeed, and I don't want to put that pressure on myself anymore. But looking back and all the people that have helped me, obviously, Joel, what a monster. Without that guy, obviously we wouldn't have succeeded. Logan always being a support, always being there, whenever I needed him. People like Zach, being there and streaming a whole season, incredible stuff. Um, once they got here, Colin and Dave and Derek and Ryan and all the stuff that they were able to do with the podcast and then live streaming and commentary and red zone and like all of that crazy stuff, and bringing that extra thing to the league that we hadn't been able to do before, and that brought us to another level. Um, my son, my young boy Jake, um, and like he's been able to contribute to streaming, and but other than that, him and guys like Skill, that have just been league historians, but also big supporters and cheerleaders, um, keeping this league going. Um, because without a lot of people watching and a lot of people continuing to keep the league exciting, then it doesn't go anywhere. Um, yeah, yeah. talking with the person that gave me this little doohickey here, um, I I really came to think about what I wanted and the good things that this league has given me, but also like just the tough difficulty that I've been feeling. Like when you think about talking to a simulation football league to your therapist, you know that it's not good. Like, um, yeah, I have nobody to share this league with, um, so that kind of hurts the output that I'm able to have with myself, the dialogue. So having someone I felt comfortable talking to about it was good for me, to really understand um, where I am in my life and what I need to do now. So, what are the plans going forward? Well, you can ask Dave, Coach Barr. He is going to be the only commissioner for the time being. Um, there's been a couple of different conversations that have been had with Dave and with a couple of other people about where we are as a league. Do we want to end it here? End it at week 8, cut it off, and start anew? Or do we want to finish out the season with only 4 weeks left? I think it's definitely possible that we could. It's just, do we have enough streamers and time to complete it with all of the teams intact? Going forward, what are we going to do? I don't know. That's not my decision to make right now. That's not my decision to make. That'll be up to Dave, but he's also looking for other people to help him. So I think we talked this afternoon, and I think he's looking for 2 other commissioners to join him, which would be great. I think that would be great. So if you're interested in helping the league, and helping continue this burgeoning legacy that we've started, let him know, and have him talk with you about it, because I'm sure that he'll be able to tell you more about what's going on. But yeah, so I don't know if we're gonna be continuing or not. That's up to them. I don't. That's been another decision that's been sticking in my brain, and I just decided I don't want to make that decision. So that'll be up to Dave and up to everybody else that he decides to get information from. What's my future? I'm going to be sticking in the server. I'm not going anywhere. I'll obviously be open to giving my opinion, as I always am. I'm sure that I will be sticking with the crabs for now, and then depending on what happens with the different things that we've talked about, seeing where we can go from. Do we need less teams? Are we okay with the teams we have? Because there are a couple of different options that obviously, you know what, I'll just tell you, just to see what people are thinking. We've talked about 2 different things. Colin and I especially have been talking about it recently. We need to make it easier on our streamers, so we've talked about cutting down the teams again, going back to 16, or potentially moving to season mode. That would allow us to save the stats and use as many teams as we wanted. And it would also allow us to simulate games without streaming them, which could be something that we would do. And we would have one streamer that would be running the season mode, would show the best games of the week, and then Colin would review the rest of the games, or Colin or somebody would be reviewing the rest of the games at the end of the week, and putting that in a little video, which I think could be very entertaining, and I think could be the way of the future, which is why I'm excited to talk about it. But that's not my decision. So we'll see what everybody decides to do. But yeah, so I don't know when I'm going to talk to you again, but we'll see. I hope that I will be. But my future, maybe I'll be a commissioner again one day. I don't know. But for right now, I'm just stepping aside and letting other people have their chance at running the league. Um, and maybe in the future, when I'm feeling better, I'll ask and see if they want me to return. And if that comes to pass, then I'll be back talking to you once again. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. I'll do whatever is needed from me. I can continue to do the stats if that's something that ownership wants me to do. Um, but yeah, so that's a 20-minute video. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it, because it means that you genuinely care about my well-being, which I appreciate. I'm trying not to end this video because then it's officially over. But yeah, I thank you genuinely. I know that there's a couple people that I've argued with a couple more times than I should have, and I've probably pushed people to work harder than they needed to, and if I've ever done anything to anyone, I'm sorry. Um, and I thank you for the sticking with me, because we know there's been a lot of people in and out, and a lot of you guys stuck with me. So before I start to cry, thank you. And I'm not going anywhere, so you'll continue to see me. But yeah, so until the next time that the internet, you and I meet again, this has been Owner Noah, signing off.